One aspect of our lives which will have seen a marked improvement during lockdown are our gardens. Gardens all over the world offer sanctuary and food to countless animals, both big and small. The garden at Bittlesbrook Farm is no different, with regular visitors including birds, squirrels and even the occasional fox. Perhaps the most overlooked garden residents are the creepy crawlies. These are the insects, worms and spiders that provide food for larger animals and also maintain a healthy ecosystem both above and below ground. One way to attract more of these mini beasts into your garden is to build a bug hotel or creature condo like this, which I built over the weekend, and later on in the episode I'll be demonstrating exactly how you can do the same. Mini beasts are integral members of the food chains of most habitats, making up a large portion of many animals' diet. There are 20,000 identified UK species of insect, and globally there's 1.54 billion insects for every human. The mini beasts are important predators, particularly of pest species, which blight farms and gardens. Many beetles, like ladybirds, feed on pest fly species, and a spider will eat anything they can. Centipedes are some of the most important micro-predators for controlling numbers of pest species, especially slugs. Vegetarian mini beasts also help to control the numbers of plants, much like large grazing mammals do. Dung beetles are extremely helpful to us for removing waste, particularly dung. It is estimated they save us £357 million a year, keeping fields manure-free, which means less pests and less parasites. The final service is their role as pollinators, a key supporting mechanism for countless other species, including us. 80% of UK plants rely on insects to transfer pollen. The star pollinators are bees, however it has been shown that beetles and flies have been doing it for much longer and actually account for more of it. Mini beasts also aid in seed dispersal, with ants being one of the most important species on the planet for this. All of the wonderful UK wildflowers which are currently blooming rely on pollinators. Natalie has been exploring the farm to highlight some of the spring wildflowers you're likely to see at the moment.
So this wildflower is wild garlic. It's also known as ramsons, and as you can see it's extremely prolific and really abundant here in the woods. And what's fantastic about it is that you can eat the whole thing. You can eat the flowers, the stalk, the leaves, the bulbs, the whole plant can be used in your recipes. So pop it in pesto, soup, that sort of thing. It adds a really lovely zingy punch to all your meals. So dotted in amongst the ramsons or wild garlic is another very delicate, very beautiful white flower. And this one here is called greater stitchwort. There are two types of stitchwort, the greater and the lesser. The predominant difference between the two is that the greater is just slightly bigger. And it's a lovely one to identify because it looks a little bit like a daisy. It's got big open white petals and bright yellow pollen on little stamens on the middle of the flower. The stalk is really straight. The leaves are a little bit like grass. They're very narrow and slightly pointed at the end and are all the way up the stem. But it's a really great one to look out for, especially if you're walking in woodlands where you've got sort of dark shaded areas. Here we have yet another really abundant wildflower. It's really easy to spot and very accessible because you'll quite often see it on the field margins or just at the base of hedgerows in slightly shady, damp areas. Now, this is called ground ivy, but it's not actually an ivy at all. It is in fact a dead nettle. And it's got these beautiful kidney-shaped leaves with little teeth all the way around the outside and perfect purple flowers. They're deep trumpets and all fluted around the edges and really beautiful. So ground ivy has loads of different local names, but one of my favourite ones is alesfoot. And it's been called this because it used to be used instead of hops in the purification process of ale. The last plant that I want to talk to you about is this one. Technically probably not a wildflower, it's the blossom from the hawthorn tree, which is also known as the May tree because it flowers at the end of April and beginning of May. It really is a fascinating tree steeped in history, and it's a symbol of the end of spring and summer really coming into its own. What's truly amazing is that it can support over 300 different species of insect, which is really incredible, and it can also offer food and homes to small mammals and rodents, including dormice. Trees like this are so important to our ecosystems. It's vital that we look after them. Even in our towns and cities, they provide refuge and food for such a variety of animals and insects. For me, wildflowers are one of the most exciting things to look for in springtime. But none of these would be here without the amazing work of pollinators, so it's vital that we provide habitats for them all over the country.
So this week I'm going to be showing you how to build one of these. It's a creature condo or bug hotel, and once finished, this construction for all creatures will attract more bees, butterflies, ladybirds and other beneficial insects, as well as providing refuge for amphibians such as frogs and toads, and even a home for small mammals like mice and possibly even hedgehogs. There are plenty of useful guides online to help you build a bug hotel. The printable Wildlife Trust Guide is linked below. Most guides recommend using pallets to construct larger bug hotels. However, I chose to use these wooden boxes because my garden doesn't have the space to start stacking pallets. I began by drilling holes into the boxes to allow creatures to move between the compartments. Then I glued them together. Be sure to ask an adult to help you at this stage if you require this. Each box or room is designed to accommodate different animals. The bottom two are filled with bricks, bark and broken plant pots. This creates a perfect habitat for amphibians and small mammals. Right, so moving up a level and on to room 3, or the log stack lounge as I'm calling it. So with all the branches that I sawed up, I created a log stack, and this is to mimic dead wood, an increasingly rare habitat in the UK now, and it's really important for a lot of invertebrate species. I drilled holes into these logs, creating a great environment for wood-boring beetles to lay their eggs. The box next door is full of niches for solitary bees, such as this bottle, full of hollow bamboo sticks, perfect for them to raise their young in. Lacewings are another brilliant insect to encourage to your garden, as their young feed on aphids, so I've rolled up cardboard in this section for them to live in. I've divided the next box into 2, with a section of pine cones for earwigs and a small twig tower for ladybirds, excellent for keeping gardens aphid and black fly free. The last room is filled with a shoebox for butterflies. The shoebox contains empty egg cartons and has an opening on the outside to allow butterflies in and out. Be sure to fill any space with leaf litter, moss or sawdust to create more areas for the creepy crawlies to hibernate in. All my materials were sustainably sourced, so please do the same for yours. And finally, what better way is there to attract more visitors to your hotel than to have a beautiful rooftop garden? So I had a leftover wine box, which I've potted up and included lots of nectar-rich flowers. So really that's it. There's no right or wrong way of doing this, so literally just enjoy it and have fun. And as you can see around the edge of my hotel, I have a few of the leftover logs which I couldn't fit into my hotel. So if you don't want to construct a whole hotel, one of the easiest things to do and to introduce into your own garden is a log stack. And that's really easy to do. You can easily get your hands on branches, fallen wood. And as I said before, this dead wood habitat is rapidly being lost from our natural ecosystem. So if you can include this into your own back garden, it would really help. So from pollination to pest control, it's clear that creepy crawlies are an essential part of our gardens and the greater ecosystem around. So why not try and help them out by building your very own bug hotel? Remember, get creative with those names. So next week in Wild Encounters, we'll be looking at camera trap footage and focusing on another exciting species in a top 10 with Ben. We would also love to showcase some of your Wild Encounters or bug hotel constructions, so please feel free to contact us with photos, videos and stories to be shown on our next episode. You can get in touch via Facebook or by emailing us at biddlesbrookfarm@gmail.com. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date. Stay safe, stay healthy and enjoy nature.